There's something you're looking past, something that there's a little bit of a red flag, or your intuition's telling you something. I even got that the hairs on the back of your neck may be standing up. You're getting like a little bit of a chill, a shiver. I don't know. Something's going off. A little tiny alarm bell. This is just to clear the energy, but maybe you're hearing something, a bell, an animal, a noise. Something is coming through, giving you a warning. Okay, but you're already on to this. It feels to me like you're trying to minimize this warning, that you're trying to rationalize something to yourself or explain it away, or tell yourself that this isn't really a warning. This is maybe an old trauma response that you shouldn't listen to, and it's not related. There is something Spirit is telling you to protect yourself from. And in fact, the message that's coming through is you are protected. Specifically, you have a guardian between doorways from this world to another world. So this could be, in a spiritual sense, like the underworld or another realm. You have a guardian protecting you from that threshold, from things crossing through that threshold unnecessarily or unwanted, or it could be somebody else in their world, right? You are protected from entering into their world, or they're being I'm hearing they're being protected. They're being protected from entering into your world. So maybe if they enter into your world, it won't be good for them. Okay, so I got some messages here, and then I got some cards. So we'll talk about it. And I'm seeing here that there's someone who doesn't want you to pick up on a small sign or a little hint that they've dropped, or they're afraid that you're on to them. They're being very clever in the way they disguise themselves, or it just doesn't necessarily have to be a person. I don't know, but there's something you're explaining away when you know you shouldn't. Okay, so what I saw was beautiful, actually, in my meditation. I saw this woman sitting underneath a willow tree, but we got oak here as the theme of the reading. But I saw a willow tree, and she was sitting at the base of this willow tree, and she looked very celestial, okay? And she had her hand out, and she was blowing something out of her hand, like, and it was like all this sparkly, beautiful energy, and it felt like this guide maybe, or this spirit, or this aspect of yourself was blowing energy or messages or signs into the universe that will arrive to you in whatever form they take. So you might be seeing birds, you might be seeing butterflies. I saw a cricket last night and I had an interesting encounter with it. You might be seeing spiders or other kinds of things. It feels like it's something that's coming from nature, which we got with the warning. Okay? And it feels like this guide or this aspect of yourself is sending this to you in a kind of non-threatening way. It's like a gentle arrival of a sign or a synchronicity, but you're really meant to tune in and pay attention to it. Don't ignore the red flags. I also got Ring Around the Rosie, that nursery rhyme. Is it a nursery? Child's rhyme? In my head during my meditation, and I looked into it, and I knew this before, but I had forgotten the whole mythology, I guess, or the whole story behind Ring Around the Rosie and how it may or may not come from the bubonic plague, and the rosies were symbolizing the red wounds that people would get on their faces, and the posies were the flowers that people would keep in their pockets to mask the smell of death. And so this child's game, like the origin of it became lost over time. So there might be something about that, like losing the origin of something. You need to go back and remember the origin. Also with this Ring Around the Rosie, there were two things here. One was that the children running around in a circle, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. It was kind of like this feeling of innocence, or your inner child, or this kind of pure form of light energy, knowing how to handle death and transition in a way that is not steeped in darkness. You know, it's like the children were playing metaphorically with the energy of death and transformation in a way that was bringing something back to life, their playfulness, their joyfulness. So I think there's a message here. This one's a little bit of a doozy, okay? So thanks for your patience. But there was a message here about taking something that's heavy and dark and maybe being a little bit playful or bringing some light to it or transforming the meaning of it into your life so that it represents something that isn't ominous and scary for you. Okay, so maybe this is looking at a past traumatic memory or a difficult situation that's going on right now and reframing aspects of it in your mind so that it doesn't feel like it's this foreboding energy or this doomsday energy, impending doom kind of following you around. That's for someone in particular. Okay, now alongside this message, there's also a shadow part, which is don't ignore the red flags. So while it's good to alleviate some of your stress by being playful and lighthearted, maybe about a difficult situation or looking for the joy in it, at the same time, it doesn't mean you ignore the red flags. It doesn't mean you spiritually bypass something. It doesn't mean that you don't pick up on the warning signs that are being sent to you by spirit. Okay, and the warning is that there's something kind of trying to come through your threshold, through your doorway, into your world, into your realm. But you have this guardian there protecting you. Okay, but you have to pay attention to the guardian. It feels like the guardian wants to be recognized and seen. And this guardian is going to come through to you in a sign or a synchronicity. So recognize it, honor it, see it, pay attention to it. Don't just brush it away and say it's nothing, okay? Because it feels like the guardian may not come back if you treat it in that way. Okay, so if you see something that feels like a sign or a synchronicity, then take some time to thank it, meditate on what it could be trying to tell you, but really show your gratitude for that sign and synchronicity. Something in 2003 might be significant. I also got there's immense clarity coming. I wasn't told about what. And then the wind, like the wind is that spirit guide's breath. I don't know, it's like pollen or sparkly energy that's being sent your way. Maybe you're going to see a bee. Okay, don't kill your sign or synchronicity. Okay, if it's an insect, don't kill it. Release it, free it. Anything else here? I think that's it. So for the theme of the reading, we got oak, doorway, strength, and journey. For the energies supporting you, insight and isolation. So this sign and synchronicity is going to come to you maybe when you feel alone, or I'm hearing somebody, you're waiting for someone to get back to you and they're not. You're given, but this is like an opening of time for you to pay attention to this sign and synchronicity. It's like everything's been halted. Time has been paused. You know, your friend hasn't responded or the email hasn't come through or whatever it is, right? Because you're meant to have this like clear, I'm hearing unambiguous moment, but there's something about a unfiltered moment where you can see the sign and synchronicity for what it is. What's with the filter? I don't know. I'm seeing like filters that you put on photos and things like that. Maybe that's a specific synchronicity for you or a message. You're going to have some insight into something. Someone could have doctored a photo. That's important for you to know about. They're trying to show you something that really isn't there. Okay? That's specific. But that moment where you're like, oh, I feel alone, or, you know, why isn't so-and-so responding, or whatever, those moments, that's when you're going to see the sign and synchronicity so that you can pay attention to it. The challenge, nature, and warning. Okay, and it feels like that this is challenging because you may just brush off this sign and synchronicity as a regular occurrence, or Yeah, it feels like you might explain the warning away to yourself. I'm hearing leaves always fall on a rainy day. I don't know what that means. Leaves always fall on a rainy day. Yeah, it feels like something happens and you tell yourself this is normal when it's unique and special. Okay, let's get into the reading and see what wants to come through for you. There's also something about this ring around the rosy. It's like the ring part, like the circle the children make, is important. It feels like a protective shape that Spirit is showing you or making you. I'm hearing Spirit is making you a protective shape. Maybe you're making a sigil or a logo or something. There's something about a circle being very important in that. Okay. Protective circle. And it's to protect some kind of transformation that you're currently working through. It feels like you're inside this circle doing something. Something has begun. It's not going to begin soon. It already has begun, like a new timeline or a new project or a new opportunity or a new feeling has washed over you. It's begun. And you're working on it. You're doing the magic. Okay? And this circle is the doorway. And something could be trying to access you and get through. Now, I did say that this other energy that's trying to access you is also being protected by being kept away from you. Okay, so it feels like this energy is trying to get to you, but Spirit's pushing them back, and like they can't get to you. It's for their own protection. So there's probably some karmic consequence for this person or energy or entity if they are to cross your threshold. And they could feel that at a very intuitive level. Okay? Someone might suddenly back off from you. And that's because they're being guided to for their own protection. Interesting. 7 of Cups. And the 3 of Wands. Yeah, it feels, in the Hangman, it feels like somebody's being stopped and they're not sure why. This could be like somebody keeps having the intention to call you or to message you or to offer you something, but like every time they go to do it, something gets in the way, they forget, they don't get back, but it's Spirit stopping them. Or you could just feel this energy of anticipation, like something's about to happen, but it doesn't. Doesn't have to be a person, but I feel that for most of you. Okay. Let's see. Something about they could be trying to come through in your dreams too. Spirit will only let those who need to cross the threshold into your dream realm to give you a message to cross. Something like that. So if you have a dream about someone that you don't particularly like, okay, or you're scared of even, they have a message for you. They're not coming to harm you. I'm hearing the warning is not in the dream. Now, you have to use your discernment. This is a general message. So always trust your intuition. The warning comes through lighter, like in a kind of like, wow, that's cool. That just happened. That's the warning. Like that's the moment Spirit wants you to pay attention. The Hermit. Yeah, when you're alone. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Spirit. Well, this is just kind of repeating what I said. We're going to go in further, but your overall energy is the Hermit. Is this an oak tree that the Hermit's in? Maybe this is also that spirit, although I did see specifically a woman. But there's a spirit here underneath a tree or in the tree, or maybe it's a tree spirit sending you a message. They're not the guardian, though. I don't know why Spirit wants to make that distinction, but they're not the guardian. The guardian comes to you like in the 3D material form. So your overall energy is maybe you're spending a lot of time alone, or you've had some kind of realization that you want to shift and change. I had a subtle shift happen recently. It was very subtle, but it was about my perspective and my outlook about relationships in my life. And it was just very kind of like change in my emotion around something. And it felt like, wow, guys, I don't know if you heard the banging as I was doing the reading, but I paused the video to go see what it was. And it was a turkey at my doorway, the guardian of the doorway. I'll probably put a clip of the turkey in, and if I do it, it's right now. Guys, look at this at the doorway. The guardian at the doorway. Oh my gosh, Spirit. Yes, guardian, you're now on YouTube. What would you like to say? So this is a big message, a big synchronicity happening in the middle of the reading, that yes, the guardian is here, the guardian is watching you, the guardian is protecting you, but also really trying to get your attention, okay? So where was I? The hermit. This is going to happen when you are deep in thought, you're reflecting about yourself, and this is when I was talking about having a subtle change, a subtle shift, right? So it's this subtle shift, and you think about it or you feel it, and the guardian is there with you as this shift happens. This is probably when the guardian arrives to you, when you make this shift, because you're ready for something. So I'm getting it. The guardian is not just protecting you in this doorway, but also showing you another way, showing you a new portal, a new threshold, a new doorway to something else, a journey. Because you have more strength now in who you are and what you feel and what you believe, perhaps. What you don't see coming, the Page of Swords. Spirit showing you something. I heard a spy right away. There could be somebody, the guardian could be telling you that somebody is trying to, well, we know this, get into your world, but they may be the Lovers, Six of Wands. They may be trying to find out about your close relationships and if they're going well or if they're not going well. This could be the point where they try to needle in or use information against you or find out your vulnerabilities. So perhaps you want to be private about the relationships that matter most to you and protect them from prying eyes. Okay, so I'm hearing the number 4, and this card has the number 4 on it. And oh yeah, there's another 4 here. So 44 could be a number that you're seeing recently. There's something about squaring it into a circle. Square it into a circle. I don't know what that means exactly. I know the phrase squaring the circle, but I'm hearing squaring it into a circle. The door, right? The door is a square, a rectangle, and the ring is a circle. I don't know. There's something here about, well, what does this mean, Spirit? The Chariot. Hold on. The Sun. The World. Whoa. There's some kind of access you're being granted. It feels like this is to a timeline. I heard lifeline. For some of you, you're getting help with something. It's coming in the right time. But this could also be a spiritual timeline or spiritual portal, place, wisdom, information you're receiving. There's something like you've been looking through the doorway, and this feels like the doorway to a job opportunity, the doorway to a relationship, the doorway to something in the 3D material world, the rectangle, the square, like you've been focused on that. And Spirit is bringing to you a ring, a circle, a portal that King of Pentacles brings you so much more comfort, security, trust. There's an erasure of animosity I'm hearing. I don't know, the messages are coming through not as a narrative or a story, but they're kind of like dabbled all over the place. So there could be different things for people to pick up on here and, you know, leave what doesn't resonate. Yeah, you might be looking in the wrong direction, not wrong direction, but there's a direction you're looking in as success or future forward thinking, like this is what I want, this is what I'm going to get, this is the doorway I want to pass through. And it's not that you're wrong and that you can't go through that door, but Spirit's showing you something else. Like there's a circle manifesting here, and it's a protective like portal for you to step into. It's also a doorway. It's a deeper journey. It's a longer journey with better rewards. But it does require you to be comfortable with perhaps being more independent in your emotional understanding of relationships. Okay, that's what I'm getting. In other words, some of you might be relying on relationships as a kind of, I know this sounds harsh, but as a kind of crutch to see you through or to get through things. And Spirit's saying, shift your perspective of what that relationship's purpose in your life actually is. Okay, so 4 of Pentacles for your opportunity. Tell me more about this. The train is just really loud there. And then we had the Wheel of Fortune, the circle, the 4 into the, yeah, see, the square, the 4 into the circle. Something that you've held on to, even though it was going up in flames, even though it was long over and done with, or a certain vision you had that you thought you were going to be successful in, perhaps, you've been holding on to it for a long time, focused on it. And the opportunity here is to see another way for yourself. I'm seeing the 6 of Cups. To get out of some kind of pattern of thinking that this equals success, or this equals love, or this equals my value, whatever this is, you know, a relationship, a job, whatever, an experience. There's something you're putting a lot of value on, and it's not it for you. That's not where you're going to find what you're looking for. So your opportunity is to see the ring, to see the circle, to see that deeper doorway that Spirit is showing you and allowing you to pass through, giving you access. You're making your own destiny right now, and you need to be aware of that. Because the challenge is the 4 of Cups. This is like, I'm not aware of it. I don't care. What's that turkey banging on my back door? Who cares? I don't know. They're just crazy turkeys. And Spirit's like, hello, no, that's not what's happening. Wake up. So there's something, yeah, this is like, don't ignore the signs. Don't ignore the synchronicities. Also, don't ignore the red flags, the warnings, which we haven't really talked too much about, I guess. So what is the Guardian warning about? What is the warning? Can we get more specific? We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Star, and the 5 of Pentacles. Someone could be eyeing something that you have and that you've worked hard for and that is rightfully yours. You manifested it, you created it. They could want it for themselves. Or there could be somebody wanting you to lose that. There's also a warning here to not sit comfortably with something that you've gained a lot of success with, to keep working on it, to keep meeting the challenge of it. You can't, I'm seeing a pyramid. You can't build a golden pyramid, sit at the top and go like this and expect everything to be good. This is what I'm seeing. Spirit is saying you have to keep working on it. You have to keep figuring out what you're going to do next, how you're going to grow. There's something here that you could just be comfortable with. It could be a relationship, and you're just like, well, everything's fine. I don't need to put any more so-called work in, or I don't need to make any more effort. I don't need to do special things for this person. And Spirit's saying you're going to lose that. Queen of Swords. What is she saying? Justice. Keep telling the truth. And that might take some work. That might be something you have to put effort into. And I think that is the case for most people, because we're raised and conditioned into a world of lies that expect us to be complicit with those lies and to go along with things. The things that we've been told are right or wrong, or how we should act in the world, when they deeply go against our own inner truth. And we've spent so much of our lives agreeing to the lie, or living the lie, or repeating the lie, whatever that is, like money equals happiness, that lie, for example. So keep telling the truth, even in the small little moments where something doesn't feel like a big deal to tell a white lie. Don't do it. If somebody wants you to do something and you don't want to do it, don't do it. Say no, and maybe even say that you don't want to do it. There's something very important about keep working on telling the truth, because you're doing it. You're already doing it. You're in it. You're doing it. But it's going to get hard. Why is it going to get hard to keep telling the truth? Seven of Wands, Knight of Wands, and the High Priestess. Because you might have to defend yourself. And there might be some kind of, I don't know, is it conflict? It's not conflict that's going to happen, but you're going to have to stand up for yourself, or stand up for someone you know. And the truth might hurt someone. It might be a truth they don't want to hear. But you intuitively will know that it needs to be said. Okay? Your advice is the Two of Cups. We've already gotten a lot of advice, but let's see more about this Two of Cups. I think this is valuing and holding on to that thing that is so special that you've worked so hard on. Your own growth, your healing, your business, your relationships. It's like protect that. Keep putting energy into that. Don't let anything come in between that. Then we have death. There's something about this relationship, this thing that you value quite a bit, transforming and changing right now. And that's why it's important that you stay on top of it. What's changing and transforming about it? The Hierophant in reverse. The Lovers. There's some kind of convention or way that things used to go. Like there's a structure, a predictability, like this is how this thing goes. And I can rely on that in order for it to be secure. That's ending. Okay, something's changing, something's shifting. And it's almost like you have to renew your vows with this thing that you love. Even if it's like your YouTube channel. Okay, I don't know. You have to renew a contract, renew a vow with it. Pay attention to it. Do the things you need to do around it. Okay. So let's piece this together, Spirit. There's something trying to come into your world at a moment when something is significantly transforming and changing, and you're having a shift. Something is trying to enter into that to disrupt it. The Hangman, to stop your growth, to halt your progress, to get you to see things maybe in a way that do not resonate with you. So there's a guardian that's telling you this, a sign of synchronicity, protecting you, warning you, saying, keep something safe and protected, sacred, honor it, keep putting the work into it, even as it changes and shifts, and a new portal opens here, a much bigger portal, the sun to the world. Okay. What's going to manifest out of all of this? We have the Page of Wands. Well, this is the message. This is a messenger card. What's going to manifest out of all of this is you're going to have a story to tell, I'm hearing, a message to give, something significant to share with the world. Queen of Cups. Yes, you will. Something you've learned by trusting your instincts and your emotions and your intuition. Okay, I'm going to pull one last card and we're going to end it here. The energy was really different in this reading. I think you can tell if you've been here before. Step out, hidden, courage, camouflage, and the crone fairy godmother, wisdom, future, and truth. This is that threshold, the doorway. When you are ready, you will step out of the hermit's cave. Well, actually, it's not that you're stepping out, really. It's more like you're stepping in. Like I'm seeing this ring as you stepping into something Spirit has waited for you to step into. But I guess as you step into something, you naturally step out of something else. And what you're stepping out of might be this square, this rectangle, this focus on something that is too narrow for your vision. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that helped. I love you so much. I'll see you next time.